I know tomorrow is Father's Day, but at my SDA church, Seventh Day Adventist, they celebrated Father's Day today. And first of all, I want to say that Christianity promotes marriage, right? Christianity promotes marriage. We are encouraged to get married and start families. You know what I mean? As godly men, we are encouraged to get married and start families. Christianity promotes marriage. And I heard the speaker saying that some men, the topic was godly men for today. The topic was godly men, and I heard the speaker saying that a lot of men in the church at home, they don't tell their wife that their wife is beautiful. She put on that lovely dress and they didn't tell her that she's beautiful. But they come to church and they tell other female that they are beautiful. And I was saying to myself that I believe that I am a romantic guy because I am a poet. And a lot of people might not know what I mean by that, but a poet is a person that writes lyrics for a living. You know what I mean? And there's a genre in poetry called romance poetry where you write love poems and things like that. And I've written many love poems and I've published a book with love poems in it. Other poems as well, but the first chapter is called The Art of Romance. That's where you find the love poems. So being a poet, I'm a very romantic guy. And I know how to make my wife feel special because if I've performed at many open mics, I've done many performances and I've performed at many open mics. And I have a poetry set that I do, a performance set. And the last piece is normally a romance poem. That's where I ask a lady from the audience to join me on stage where I recite a poem to her. But being that in the future I'll be married, I can use my wife as that lady that I recite the poem to. So at the end of my performance, I can ask my wife to join me on stage where I recite a poem to her, right? And normally when I invite a female on stage and I'm performing the poem to her, the crowd, the crowd, in the crowd, the ladies are oohing and ahhing. There's a lot of oohs, there's a lot of ahs, there's a lot of snaps of the fingers because in poetry, some people don't clap, some people snap the finger. So there's a lot of finger snapping, there's a lot of giggling, there's a lot of laughing, there's a lot of cheering, there's a lot of excitement because women love to see a man saying romantic things to another woman. So this normally the woman that I invite on stage, normally she feels special. You know what I mean? She feels special and sometimes she even becomes interested in me romantically. You know what I mean? Yes. You know what I mean? I've done this many times. While I was at UTech, I was at Debating Society, I was a member and they were having talent day and I was performing and I invited a girl on stage and the president of the school heard his daughter was in the club and she came on stage and I performed a poem to her and she said it sounded like a marriage and we went on a date. We went on a couple dates. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean that's the power of words. So I'm the romantic lyricist. I'm very romantic, and I've done other romantic things. I've done other extremely romantic things. So I know how to make my wife special. And I think if I call my wife on stage and recite a poem to her, I think that's like one of the most romantic things you can ever do. It's a public declaration of your love. It's a public display of your love. I believe that this is like one of the most romantic, if not the most romantic thing you can ever do. And she'll feel special. She'll hear the crowd cheering, she'll hear the claps, she'll hear the snaps, the snaps, she'll hear the oohs and the ahs. She'll definitely feel special. And sometimes if I perform this poem without calling a female on stage, when I come off stage, I'm guaranteed to be approached by other females or start getting eye contact. I'll be getting eye contacts up when I come off stage. I'll be approached, you know what I mean? That's happened before. And more than one time I've called ladies on stage and ending up dating them. More than one time, on multiple occasions. And one other romantic thing that I've done is that while I was attending college, I was dating this nurse. She was already finished school and working, and I wrote her a poem. I wanted to give her a gift for Valentine's Day, so I wrote her a poem. I called up my graphic designer friend. I designed the poem into a design and printed it. It was a white canvas and pink words with a rose, with a pink rose with a green stem and a green leaf. So I made a design, I paid for it, and then I printed it. I printed it on thick paper. And then after I printed it very large. I think it was 12 by 18. It was a very large print. And then I bought like a 12 by 18 frame, and I placed the design in the frame. And then I went to Azans and I got it wrapped. And then I bought a gift bag and put the frame, the gift in the bag, and it had the gift tissue as well in the bag. And it was a couple of days before Valentine's Day that I did this. And I brought the gift to UTech, and a lot of ladies was like, ooh, somebody's Valentine's Day came early. You know what I mean? They were very excited to see that. And then on Valentine's Day, I brought the gift to the female at work. We all exchanged gift, and then she went inside. She said when she went inside and the other female colleagues saw the gift, they created excitement over the gift. They were like, he's a poet, and they said a lot of stuff. And she said she's not going to tell me all the stuff that her friends were saying. And stuff like that, you know what I mean? And she was very excited and she was very happy about the gift. And she was asking me, how much did you pay for such a gift? How much did you pay for this gift? You know what I mean? To see the design and the frame and everything. You had to pull it out of the wrapping. You see the design came in the bag, everything. You know what I mean? And then that evening she invited me over, actually. She said she wanted cake, so I brought her cake. I was chilling and talking and stuff. So I know how to be romantic, so I hope the men that listen to me, that follow me, can take a page out of my book and learn how to be romantic to their wife or to their fiance or their spouse. You know what I mean? And if you're not married yet, I encourage you to get married. Not to get married. I encourage you to get married because Christianity promotes marriage. Alright? Yes.